Ob eine Münze eine Einstufung von MS65 oder MS66 bekommt, kann in Einzelfällen einen Wertunterschied von mehreren 10.000 Euro ausmachen. Die Arbeit der professionellen Münzeinstufer, der sogenannten Grader, ist also unheimlich verantwortungsvoll. Und ich habe mich mit einem solchen Grader getroffen und habe mit Scott Schechter darüber gesprochen, wie er eigentlich bei seiner Arbeit vorgeht, wie er die nötige Unparteilichkeit beim Grading-Vorgang aufrechterhält und welche Missverständnisse es beim Grading gibt. Und er hat auch noch den ein oder anderen Tipp für Sammler und Händler, welche Hilfsmittel man eigentlich einsetzen kann, wenn man seine Münzen einer Prüfung unterziehen möchte und entscheiden möchte, ob man diese Münzen zum Grading bei NGC einreichen möchte.
So generally I will look at coins right before they go into our encapsulation holders. Usually they've been graded by one or two other graders already, and so I have their opinion of grade and my own, and I'll make an assessment on what the final grade ultimately should be. Every coin actually gets reviewed by a quality control grader once it's put into a holder to make sure that the presentation's right, that it looks correct for the grade, and that there hasn't been a switch or an encapsulation error. But I'm working always with a team of graders, and usually after them we have multiple opinions on every coin that's graded. Yeah, so we call, we have different positions that we call in the grading. I mentioned position because we refer to the person who looks at a coin first as the first baseman, just like in baseball. So they look at the coin cleanly, and they're giving their initial impression, although sometimes we also use this as a training position too, where someone looks at a coin first and gives their impression, checks the attribution in the screen, and quite senior graders are also first baseman. It's not only an introductory position, but some people like that role of just being first on a coin. And then it'll go to another grader or to a finalizer after the first baseman, who will see the grade the coin and also look at the previous determination of grade, just to make sure to kind of bring us consistent. So we work as a team, and then if I'm working with a grader who's training, I'll also give feedback just immediately, so the coin is fresh in their mind, and that's how we sort of we have a lot of communication about the grade of coins. It's not it's meant to be collaborative, where we're working together. So sometimes I'll ask, why did you grade this coin so high, or why did you grade it so low, to try and understand what they're seeing, or if I'm missing something on the coin that's leading me to a different opinion. And then always coins are looked at by another grader in the holder. So every coin is packaged in the same exact way, where I just have a brief description and there's a barcode and a number. I enter that coin number. The grading room has very controlled lighting conditions, so I have a desk lamp, and every grader is particular about the kind of light bulb that they like, how bright it is, how dim it is, how yellow it is, how white the light is. I'll look at the coin usually first at arm's length, and then examine it also with a magnifier, usually for grading a 5x magnifier. And then I'll enter in my assessment into the grading screen, and I'll also verify that the attribution, that the coin's been properly described. The best way for a collector to start learning about grading is to look at as many coins as they can in holders. I mean, there's no, go to a coin show, go to an auction viewing, and look at coins. Auction viewings are fantastic because you can just sit and look at everything, and that's what they're set up for, just to have you look at coins. And great if you buy coins too, but I think I always recommend that people should look at their coins under a controlled lighting. So Many collectors just take the coins out in the bank at the safe deposit box if they do that, or they're in their home, or they go outside and they look under the sun. But that's not how we grade coins, and that's not really a way to learn to differentiate. So if you look in a darkened room with a single desk lamp and you hold the coin underneath it and you rotate the coin under the light, learning how to move the coin so that you see all like the various facets of the surface is going to be the best thing that you could do. And I could sometimes tell an experienced collector versus someone just starting by how they move the coin under the light, just like that. And so more than anything, my first bit of advice is to look at your coins in a darkened room. And then when you submit coins to NGC and start slow, take 5 or 10 coins, send that. When you get them back, look at them again under the light and see if you can reconcile. If something graded lower than you expected, try and understand what's on that coin. If something graded higher than expected, were you being too critical of a contact mark that wasn't important, or are you micrograding the coin? Don't focus too much on one element, but try and get a sense of the grade at arm's length. When we look at coins, we look under in a dark room with a single desk lamp, and we don't necessarily use a special bulb, but you don't want it to be too bright. You don't want it to be to make it uncomfortable when the reflection of the coin hits your eyes. It causes eye fatigue during a day, but it also makes it difficult to appreciate the whole coin. And so I would look at under a medium bright desk lamp, but try to darken out the room otherwise, because a point light source will allow you to see different things on the coin as you turn it. So hairlines on a coin are often directional. So you see them very sharply from one angle, but when you turn the coin in another way, they disappear. And I think the other thing that I always encourage is that people should use the same light source over and over again. Get used to looking at coins in the same way, because developing that kind of consistency and knowing what your personal preference is for lighting will also make it better for you to examine coins over time, especially when you're getting coins back from NGC. As far as magnification goes, there's a tendency, and every collector does this, to use a very high magnification. And that doesn't allow you to really grade the coin. It allows you to see if a coin has been repaired, or if it's to attribute a variety. Is there an overdate? Is there an unusual die feature? But it's not good for grading. The best thing to do for grading is to hold the coin at kind of arm's length, at least 25 centimeters from your eyes, to really get a sense of what does that coin look like. Move it around and then bring it closer. And we recommend using no more than a 5 times magnification glass, so that you can still see a lot of the coin. And obviously when you're grading a small coin, like an old cruiser or something little, you want to use you want to look at the coin and learn to rotate it with the 5 times magnifier in your hand. Some people have a little preference of one thing or another, but the loops don't need to be terribly expensive to get started, and it's a useful tool, but learning how to get an immediate impression of a coin, when you see it, hold it, this is sort of the range of grade that it is all that's required. For me, I think that people who don't understand what we do and what our day-to-day work life is like, they often perceive that the grading companies are working in the service of dealers, that dealers get better grades. First, I can say that there's fortunately enough work here, enough coins to grade. Graders at NGC don't know whose coins they're grading, but I wouldn't have time to worry about it. So the reason that dealers get better grades, if that happens, it's because dealers select better coins for grading. They're more experienced with coins. They have more coins available to them. They've been doing it longer, and so they send coins that they think are going to grade better, and they have experience to select those coins properly. And so I think that that's really the best. If you want better grades, send better coins. It's really, if I had a recommendation. But the truth is that for many collectors, we're a good educational resource because you're sending us coins, we're giving an unbiased opinion of their condition, and it's backed by a lot of experience in this space. And by looking at the results that collectors get, they can really improve their understanding of coin collecting, condition analysis, and I think a lot of collectors who are starting out really need to approach the grading services from that perspective. This is how I'm going to learn more. This is an opportunity, not I want to send all my best coins, I want them to grade really high, I want to make a lot of money when I sell them, because that's just not a realistic approach. For me, I've been in the coin business for 20 years, and I know a lot of people and consider them good friends, and I like to be receptive to dealers and collectors when they have a comment about a grade or a problem. Interestingly, almost everyone says, you undergraded my coin, or you called my coin cleaned when you should have graded it. No one ever says, you know, you called this coin a 65, but I really think it's a 63. The people who work at NGC are interested in doing this kind of work, and you can't cross the line. You can't have financial interests in coins that are being bought and sold, and I'm very comfortable with that. I continue to collect coins, and I think that for the areas where I have a collecting interest, or I used to be a rare coin dealer, the areas where I was most specialized in my dealing, I think I'm a better grader because I know more about them, and I never, you know, I'm always excited when I see a really special coin. When I see a coin that's better than one that I have, I love that it's going to be out there in the market in an NGC holder. So for me, the conflict of interest and the impartiality is never an issue. You know, I love the work, and I don't think I could. I think that it would be painful if there were any conflict that existed, but I definitely understand that there's perceptions of bias, and I think when people start to understand more about what they do, and also when people have a track record of sending us coins for years and years and years, and understand that we're really working to be accurate and consistent, then those perceptions go away. It's more people who don't know about us and what we do.